How's it going, YouTube? Matt here with yet another video. A cooking video, I should say. A jerky making video. So, what happened was I went to a Cabela's recently and I found this jerky oven rack. It was $30. And then I bought this jerky making kit, $7. The variety one to be exact. Comes with the stuff to make 3 different types of jerkies, your original, your teriyaki, and your peppered. So I saw this stuff and I thought, you know what, I'll give it a try. So I picked it up. I also picked up this Eye of Round steak. That's what the enclosed instructions tell you to use, so I thought I would, so I bought it. Came from Festival Foods, as you can see. That one cost $5.35. Okay, so I'm reading the instructions. It says to use lean meat, got that. Somewhere it says what kind of meat you should use. Well, your lean meat, you can use venison, you can use turkey, your wild game, or etc. It says both round steak or flank steak work well too. So, fortunately, I don't have a deer or turkey, so I just picked up some flank steak. So I got that going. I only invested in 3 pounds, though the recipe calls for 5 pounds. Figured I'd see how it goes before I, invested in some more meat. So I'm just going to be using 3 pounds for this. And I've got a bowl to mix it in. I just recently washed it, so that's why there's still water in it. So, not sure how well this camera can pick this up. So now what it wants me to do is it wants me to cut up the meat, trim the fat off of it. All these fat areas. So I'm going to trim that off. Trim that off there. And now what it says as far as length, let's see what it says for length. It says to cut the strips about 1/8 inch thick and 6 inches long. It says if you slice against the grain, you get more of a tender jerky. If you slice with the grain, you get a chewier product. So I guess since the grain is actually going that way and I can't really slice against it, I'm going to go ahead and slice with it. So I'm going to go ahead and shave more of that fat off. So there's one piece, or will be a piece of jerky. Another piece. And another piece. So as I was chopping this meat up, I realized that I remembered to tell you to wash your hands both before you chop up meat or handle raw meat, and then after you handle raw meat. You don't want any bad bacteria getting into, into other food or other surfaces around your home or getting you sick in any way. And so now what the recipe calls for is to use a non-metallic bowl to lay the strips evenly into it. And then in another bowl it wants you to mix your seasoning. So here's the seasonings. Or I'm sorry, the cure. So you're to mix that, get that all out. And then this is the seasoning I'll be using, which is teriyaki. Oh man, does smell teriyaki. So, wow. Whew. So now what you're to do is then add a half a cup of water. Noticing is that a lot of my my seasoning is actually floating to the surface here. Alright, so kept stirring it up and trying to see if I can get rid of these clumps. Now these clumps, they really seems to be what happens with the seasoning, and the cure that I mixed up. Something in one of the two caused these clumps to form, and I mean, now they bust open, whatever they are, but I don't know if that's intentional or if that's a problem, but I guess we'll just carry on. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour this mixture into that bowl there. Put that layer of the steak there. As per the recipe. Oop. Okay, now I should have probably let this sit for a while, but as you can see, there's that stuff. There's some of that sodium and or whatever that stuff is. There's a lot of salt in this stuff. Okay, so what I'm still doing is I'm trying to marinate the meat in this brine here. This brine and seasoning, I should say, or cure and seasoning, I should say. I'm trying to get it an even color where it's more of this brownish color as opposed to this red. In fact, here I'll show you the difference. Yep. So that's non-cured. This is cured. Then after I completely marinate this stuff, what I will do is I will just put it in a plastic bag and put it in the fridge overnight. Let it sit for another 8 hours. So 8 hours, I will be ready to pop it in the oven and do the dehydrating process. So I will catch you later. Okay, so what I have done is I let it sit in the fridge overnight for 8 hours. It's got this even brown texture because of that cure I used. And so what I did was I laid it out on this drying rack here, and I'm going to pop it in the oven. I got the jerky spaced apart so none of it's touching. It doesn't dry right if it's touching, so I'm going to go through that, make sure everything's peachy. And I'm just going to go ahead and pop this in here for a few hours and check back on it and see how it's doing. Oh, this thing's heavy. Man, does it smell amazing. So just popping that in there. And I'll see you in a couple hours. Alright, so we're about an hour and 15-20 minutes into this thing. Actually, it's starting to look like jerky, at least the top layer. I don't know how well you can see it. I'm using a flashlight here. But, once every 15 minutes or so, I've been opening it up and letting all that moisture out. And, yeah, it's gradually starting to look like jerky. I'm still seeing some wet spots on these top pieces. Top pieces seem to be doing the best. I don't know, I might even go in there and flap the trays around later. But, yeah, this stuff actually looks like it's working out. So, hopefully it does. Alright, so now we're in hour 4 of this experience here. And, well, still have some wet edges here. I'm gonna maybe do another half hour or so just to see if those go away. Some pieces do already look like jerky, but others don't. And I really wanna make sure I get them completely dried out before I eat them or put them in storage. So, I am noticing that they really did shrivel up though, man. So, yeah, that's them. Okay, so got this out of the oven. Looks like it's about done. There's still some residue left over, but that's normal. According to the instructions, I have to take a paper towel and kind of blot it down, get all that moisture out of it. I had it sitting in the oven for 5.5 hours. You really have to kind of eyeball it. You want it to turn into a brown. And yeah, so it does look pretty brown to me. Did try a few pieces. Very chewy, which is what I wanted. Tastes like teriyaki jerky. Really did turn out real nice. I'm pretty proud of myself. And now overall the experience, it was very time consuming. The instructions that were included in the jerky making kit really weren't specific. I ended up having to do a lot of research online to figure out how, you know, stuff like the oven temperature and how long to cook it. And overall, yeah, I'd do it again. Obviously, I still have some more seasonings, some more cures, so I will definitely be trying those out, possibly making a follow-up video. For what I paid 30 bucks for these 3 racks in the pan that they're sitting on, though it's hidden by aluminum foil. The jerky kit was $7, and that's enough seasoning to make, I think it was 15 pounds of jerky. I made 3 pounds of jerky. And then the meat itself was like about $15. So overall, so for the equipment involved, that's about $37, and then the meat is whatever meat's going for, I guess. So yeah, it was a fun little project for $37. And hopefully I'll do more in the future, and hey, who knows, maybe I'll get a smoker and try it that way too. So, till next time, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to favorite. Until next time, I don't know, make some jerky, I guess. Bye now.